The notification lit up my phone at 2:47 a.m. My daughter-in-law's name flashed on the screen. Lisa never called this late. My heart already knew something was terribly wrong before I even answered. "Mom?" Her voice was shaking, barely above a whisper. "Mom, I need help. Please. I don't know who else to call." I sat up in bed, my husband stirring beside me. "Lisa, what's wrong? Where's Michael?" "He's not here. He's in Chicago for that conference." "Mom." She broke into sobs. "The baby. Something's wrong with Emma. She won't stop crying and she feels so hot. I called the pediatrician's emergency line, but they said to take her to the ER and I can't drive. I'm shaking so bad. And I tried calling Michael, but he won't answer. And Mom, I'm so scared. I'm coming right now. Right now, Lisa. Hold on." I was already out of bed, grabbing clothes. "Is Emma breathing okay?" "Yes, but she's burning up. 103.5. I gave her Tylenol, but Mom, please hurry. 10 minutes. I'm leaving right now." My husband drove while I kept Lisa on the phone, keeping her calm, keeping her talking. When we burst through their front door, Lisa was on the couch with Emma, both of them crying. My granddaughter's face was flushed red, her little body limp against her mother's chest. We got them to the hospital. "Ear infection," the doctor said. "Serious, but treatable. Emma would be fine with antibiotics." But as we sat in that waiting room at 4 a.m., Lisa's hands wouldn't stop shaking, and it wasn't just about Emma anymore. "Mom, I need to show you something." Lisa pulled out her phone with trembling fingers. "I found this tonight, before Emma got sick. I was looking for Michael's insurance card in his email because I couldn't find the physical one, and She couldn't finish, just handed me the phone. Email after email, text message screenshots, hotel confirmations, all forwarded to Michael's personal email from someone named Vanessa Carter. The messages made my blood run cold. This wasn't a business colleague. This was a woman Michael had been seeing for 6 months. A woman he'd introduced to his colleagues as his girlfriend. A woman he was planning to move in with. In Chicago, permanently. "There's more," Lisa whispered. She showed me a document. Divorce papers, already drafted, hidden in a folder on their shared laptop labeled Tax Documents 2024. Michael had been planning this, methodically, coldly. He was going to serve her papers right after he relocated for work. The work relocation that he'd told us was temporary, that he'd told Lisa was just for 6 months, that he'd convinced everyone was a great opportunity. It was all a lie. "Mom, I don't know what to do." Lisa's voice cracked. "He's been so distant lately, but I thought it was just stress from work. Last week he told me I should move back in with my parents for a while, that it would be easier while he was in Chicago. He said Emma and I could visit on weekends. I thought he was trying to be considerate, but he's already checked out, hasn't he? He's already gone." I looked at my granddaughter, finally sleeping peacefully in her mother's arms after the medication. I looked at Lisa, 28 years old, exhausted, betrayed, holding her world together by a thread. And I thought about my son, my Michael, the boy I raised, the man I thought I knew, the man who was abandoning his wife and daughter. "We're going to figure this out," I told Lisa. But even as I said it, I felt something breaking inside me. How do you choose between your child and what's right? Over the next 3 days, while Michael was still in Chicago, Lisa stayed with us. We told him Emma had been sick, that Lisa needed support, that everything was fine. He barely seemed to care. His texts were short, distracted. "Glad she's better. Tell Lisa I'll call later." He never did. I watched Lisa move through our house like a ghost. She was trying so hard to be strong, to keep it together for Emma, but I'd catch her sometimes, staring at nothing, tears running silently down her face. This was the girl who'd been so full of life when Michael brought her home 5 years ago. The girl who'd loved my son with everything she had. And he was throwing her away like she meant nothing. On the 4th day, I did something I never thought I'd do. I called Michael. "Hey, Mom, what's up? I'm about to head into a meeting." "Cancel it," I said. My voice was steady, cold. "We need to talk, now." "Mom, I really can't. Can this wait until—" "Michael James Richardson, you will talk to me right now, or I'm getting on a plane to Chicago and having this conversation in your office lobby." Silence. Then, "What's this about?" You know exactly what this is about. Lisa found the emails, the hotel receipts, the divorce papers, all of it. More silence. I could practically hear him calculating, trying to figure out how to spin this. Mom, you don't understand. Lisa and we've been having problems for a long time. I was going to talk to her about this, but what? But you thought you'd just disappear and leave her with a baby and no explanation? You thought you'd move to Chicago with your girlfriend and pretend your wife and daughter don't exist? It's not like that. Vanessa and we just connected. And Lisa, she's been so focused on Emma, we barely even talk anymore. We grew apart, Mom. These things happen. I closed my eyes, listened to my son make excuses, rationalize his betrayal, and I realized with a sinking feeling that I didn't recognize him at all. Your daughter had a 103-degree fever 3 nights ago, Michael. Lisa was terrified. She tried to call you. You didn't answer. Do you know where you were? I told you. There was that dinner with. You were at dinner with Vanessa. I saw the Instagram post. She tagged the restaurant. You're stalking me on social media now? I'm trying to understand who you've become. Because the son I raised wouldn't do this. He wouldn't lie. He wouldn't abandon his family. He wouldn't, my voice broke. He wouldn't make me choose between him and my granddaughter. No one's making you choose anything, Mom. This is between Lisa and me. You made it my business the second you involved a baby. Emma doesn't deserve this. Lisa doesn't deserve this. And you know what? I don't deserve to watch you become a man I can't respect. Don't be dramatic. People get divorced all the time. Emma will be fine. Kids are resilient. That's when I knew. My son wasn't confused or lost or going through a midlife crisis at 32. He was selfish, cold. He'd made his choice, and he didn't care who he hurt in the process. Come home this weekend, I said. We're having a family meeting. Your father and you and Lisa. We're going to talk about this like adults. You owe her that much. Fine. But Mom, don't expect me to change my mind. I'm not in love with her anymore. I haven't been for a while. He hung up. I sat there, phone in my hand, wondering how I'd failed so completely as a mother. Lisa was feeding Emma in the kitchen when I found her. He's coming home this weekend, I said. He thinks we're going to have a conversation about how to handle the divorce. And are we? Lisa's voice was hollow. No. I sat down across from her. We're going to show him that he doesn't get to do this. Not like this. Not without consequences. What do you mean? I pulled out my laptop. Started typing. How good are you with social media? Over the next 2 days, Lisa and I did something I never imagined I'd do. We built a case. Not a legal one, not yet. A public one. Lisa had access to everything. Michael's email, his phone records, his credit card statements. We went through all of it. Found every hotel room, every dinner, every lie. We documented the timeline. The way he'd been pulling away from Emma. The way he'd stopped contributing to their joint account while spending thousands on Vanessa. The way he'd been telling Lisa to be more independent while actively planning his exit. But we found something else too. Something that changed everything. Lisa was going through Michael's LinkedIn messages when she found it. A message from a woman named Jennifer Hartley, sent 3 months ago. I saw your engagement announcement to Vanessa Carter on Facebook. I don't know if anyone's told you, but she did the same thing to my husband. Moved to Chicago with him, convinced him to leave me and our kids. They were together for 8 months before she moved on to someone else. Someone with more money. I tried to warn her next boyfriend, but he didn't believe me. I just thought you should know who you're planning your life with. Lisa and I stared at the screen. She responded. Lisa whispered, clicking through. Jennifer sent her Facebook. Look. Jennifer Hartley's Facebook told a story of a woman whose life had been destroyed by Vanessa Carter. Photos of Jennifer with her husband, happy, in love. Then abruptly, nothing. Her status changed from married to divorced. Posts about single motherhood, about rebuilding, about warning other women. And in her friend list, 2 other women with similar stories. Amanda Price, Rachel Morrison, all with posts about the same woman. Vanessa Carter, the woman who targeted married men, moved them to Chicago, isolated them from their families, and then, when someone better came along, discarded them. Michael wasn't special. He was a mark a pattern. And Lisa was just the latest wife to be destroyed by this woman's game. "We need to talk to them," I said. "Jennifer and the others." "What? Why?" "Because Michael might not listen to us, but he'll listen to this." I sent Jennifer a message that night, told her who I was, what was happening, asked if she'd be willing to talk. She responded within an hour. "I'll do anything to stop her from doing this to another family." By Friday, we had all 3 women on a video call. Jennifer, Amanda, and Rachel, each with the same story. Husbands seduced by Vanessa Carter, marriages destroyed, families broken, and each time, Vanessa had moved on to someone wealthier, more successful, more useful to whatever game she was playing. "She works in finance," Jennifer explained. "She targets men at conferences, married men, specifically. I think she likes the challenge. Or maybe she just likes knowing she can take something from another woman. My ex-husband lost his job when it all fell apart. The stress destroyed him. We have 2 kids. She didn't care. Mine is still paying off her credit card debt," Amanda added. "She convinced him to put her on his cards, ran up $50,000, then left him for a hedge fund manager." Rachel was crying. "My kids won't talk to their father anymore. They're 12 and 14. They saw what he did to me, to us. They saw him choose her over them. And for what? 6 months with a woman who never cared about him at all?" Lisa recorded every word, every detail, every warning. When Michael walked through our door Saturday afternoon, he looked tired, irritated, like this was all an inconvenience to his new life. He barely hugged Emma, barely looked at Lisa. "Let's get this over with," he said. "I have a flight back tomorrow morning." "Sit down, Michael," my husband said. His voice had an edge I rarely heard. "You're going to want to hear this." We showed him everything. The timeline we'd built, the evidence of Vanessa's pattern, the testimonies from 3 other women whose husbands had been exactly where Michael was now, the proof that he wasn't in love, he was being played. Michael's face went through so many emotions: denial, anger, confusion, and finally, horrified realization. "This can't be right," he kept saying. "Vanessa wouldn't. She loves me. We're moving in together. She wouldn't." "Call her," I said. "Right now. Tell her you're coming back to Lisa. Tell her you can't afford to support her anymore. See what she says." "I'm not doing that. This is insane. You're all insane." "Then I'm posting this online," Lisa said quietly. She held up her phone. "Everything. The emails, the timeline, the other wives' stories. I'm putting together a blog post about Vanessa Carter and her pattern of destroying families. I'm tagging every business connection you and she have in Chicago. I'm making sure everyone knows exactly what kind of person she is, and what kind of person you've become. You can't do that. That's slander. It's truth, and I have receipts for every single claim." Michael stood up, paced, ran his hands through his hair. "This is blackmail." "No," my husband said. "This is consequence. You don't get to blow up your family for a woman who's using you. You don't get to abandon your daughter. Not without everyone knowing who you really are. I'm your son. You're supposed to support me." I felt my heart break. "I'm supposed to raise you to be a good man." I failed at that. But I won't fail Emma. I won't fail Lisa. And I won't let you fail yourself any more than you already have. Michael left that night, went to a hotel, texted that we'd betrayed him, that he'd never forgive us. The next morning, Lisa posted her blog, not out of revenge, out of necessity, because 3 other women messaged her overnight, 3 more wives, 3 more families destroyed by Vanessa Carter's pattern. And because someone needed to stop her. The blog went viral. 50,000 views in the first day. News outlets picked it up. The woman who hunts married men. Someone created a Reddit thread. Others started sharing their stories. Not about Vanessa specifically, but about similar patterns. About people who destroyed families for sport. About the importance of warning others. Michael called me crying 3 days later. Vanessa had blocked him on everything. Her LinkedIn was deleted. Her apartment in Chicago was being vacated. Turns out, she'd already lined up her next target, a vice president at a tech company, worth millions. Michael had been a stepping stone, nothing more. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You were right. About everything. I was such an idiot. I destroyed my marriage for someone who never cared about me at all. Yes, I said. You did. Can I fix this? Can I come home? I'll do anything. I'll go to counseling. I'll prove to Lisa that Michael, that's not my decision. That's Lisa's. And honestly, I don't know if you deserve her forgiveness. You didn't just cheat. You planned to abandon her. You were going to leave her to raise Emma alone while you started over with someone else. That's not a mistake. That's a choice. A series of choices. All selfish. I know. I know that now. But I love Emma. I love my daughter. I can't lose her. You should have thought about that before. The divorce papers came 2 weeks later. Lisa filed first. Full custody, child support, division of assets. Michael didn't fight it. Couldn't, really. Not with all the evidence documented. Not with his company in Chicago questioning his judgment after the blog post made waves in his industry. He moved back home. Not with Lisa. To an apartment near us. He sees Emma every other weekend. He's in therapy. He's trying to rebuild himself into someone better. But the damage is done. Emma will grow up knowing her father chose someone else over her, even if just for a moment. Lisa is strong. She's rebuilding her life. But she has trust issues now that might never fully heal. And Michael has to live with the knowledge that he destroyed the best thing in his life for a lie. As for me, I've had to accept something painful. I raised a son who was capable of tremendous selfishness, who valued his own desires over his responsibilities, who hurt people who loved him. But I also helped stop him from making it even worse. I stood with my daughter-in-law when standing with her meant standing against my own child. I protected my granddaughter. And I helped expose a pattern that had already destroyed multiple families and would have destroyed more. 3 months after everything fell apart, I was at the grocery store when a woman approached me. Mid-30s, kind eyes, wedding ring. "Are you Margaret Richardson?" she asked. "Yes, I'm Rebecca Torres." My husband was at a conference in Chicago last month. He came home talking about a woman he'd met, someone named Vanessa Carter, someone who seemed really interested in him. I got a weird feeling. So I Googled her name and found your daughter-in-law's blog. I showed it to my husband. He was shocked. Stopped all contact with her immediately. Your family's courage to speak out might have saved my marriage. I watched her walk away, her cart full of groceries for her family. Her family that was still intact because someone had warned her. Was it worth losing my relationship with Michael? Worth the pain of choosing my daughter-in-law over my son? Worth becoming the villain in my own child's story? I look at Emma now, 18 months old, laughing as Lisa reads her books before bed. I think about Rebecca Torres and her husband, about the 3 other women who reached out to thank Lisa for her post, about all the families that might stay together because someone finally said enough. And I know the answer is yes. Sometimes love means protection. Sometimes it means standing up to the people you love most. Sometimes it means choosing what's right over what's easy. I held my daughter through a storm that night when she called at 2:47 a.m., but the real storm came after, and we walked through it together. We faced the lies, the betrayal, the pain, and we came out the other side stronger. Michael might never understand what we did or why. He might never forgive us for exposing his mistakes so publicly, but someday, maybe Emma will. Maybe she'll know that her grandmother loved her enough to protect her, even when it cost me everything. And maybe that's what real love looks like, not the fairy tale kind, the kind that fights, the kind that refuses to let anyone, even your own child, destroy an innocent life without consequence. My phone rings sometimes late at night now. Not Lisa anymore. Other women, other mothers, other wives, all asking the same question. How did you find the strength? And I tell them the same thing every time. You find it when there's no other choice. You find it when someone you love needs you more than you need to be comfortable. You find it when standing up is harder than staying silent. But staying silent would destroy you. Emma calls me Gamma now. She reaches for me when I walk in the room. She doesn't know yet what was lost to protect her. She doesn't know the family that broke apart so she could stay whole. But someday, I'll tell her. I'll tell her about the night her mother called me, scared and alone. I'll tell her about the choice I made to stand with truth instead of blood. I'll tell her that love isn't always gentle. Sometimes it's fierce. Sometimes it has teeth. And I'll tell her that she was worth it. Every painful moment, every difficult conversation, every burned bridge. She was worth all of it, because that's what grandmothers do. We protect, we fight, we love so hard it sometimes looks like war, and we never, ever apologize for choosing the children who cannot yet defend themselves.